Sahara Desert is the second name of death. In 1994, during a marathon, a man suddenly disappeared. He vanished from among 130 runners. No body was found. No clue was ever discovered. Then, after 9 days, he reappeared. He came from across the border, from a completely unknown place. This is the story of Italian police officer Mauro Prosperi, a man whom even death could not accept. Welcome to Scope History Videos. Viewers, this is a heartbreaking true story. It is about Mauro Prosperi from Italy. He was very passionate about pentathlon. Pentathlon is a demanding sport. It includes swordsmanship and swimming. It also includes horse riding, along with pistol shooting and running. This sport made him mentally strong. He trained during his duty in the Italian National Police. His training taught him one thing: never give up. One day, his friend Giovanni Manzo told him about a race. It was held in the Sahara Desert, one of the toughest races in the world. The challenge was extreme. Runners had to cover 151 kilometers alone and complete it within 7 days. The difficulty did not end there. Each runner had to carry everything: food, clothes, and cooking gear, all inside a backpack. The organization only provided water and sometimes a tent at night. Mauro Prosperi and Manzo accepted the challenge. They started intense training, running 40 kilometers daily and reducing their water intake. On April 10, 1994, the race began. Prosperi was 38 years old. The starting point was Foum Zigit in Morocco, a remote village in Tata province, where the Sahara begins in full power. There were 130 competitors in total. Prosperi and Manzo were among them. The first 3 days went smoothly. They covered 96 kilometers successfully, but the path was extremely difficult. Some areas had hard salt surfaces. Others had rocky cliffs and dunes. They ran early in the cold mornings. During the day, the heat was brutal. The desert was endless and empty. Each runner moved alone. Everyone had to find their own path and reach the next checkpoint. Each runner had a survival kit. It included a compass and flare gun, in case they got lost. The race had 6 stages. On April 14th, they reached stage 4, the hardest stage of the race. It was 85 kilometers long and had to be finished in 2 days. It was afternoon. The temperature reached 46 C. The sun burned everything. Prosperi sped up his pace. He left Manzo behind. Now he was completely alone. Suddenly, he saw a dust devil spinning sand in front of him. Within moments, the wind grew stronger. After running 32 kilometers, conditions worsened. He changed his direction slightly and climbed a sand dune to avoid the direct wind. But things got worse. The wind turned into a sandstorm, a violent, blinding storm. He had to make a decision. If he stopped, he could be buried alive. So he kept running, right into the storm. He believed he was following the trail, but it was only his imagination. Soon, all signs disappeared. He drifted miles away, far from the race. Darkness began to fall. There was no checkpoint, no sign of anyone. That's when he realized the truth. He was completely lost. His skin turned red. The storm damaged his body. Blood came from his nose. His throat swelled badly. Sand filled his breath. That night, he stopped near a bush. He covered his face with a towel and tried to sleep, hoping for a better morning. The fifth day began calmly. The weather improved slightly. He started running again for the next 4 hours. Then he climbed a huge dune. He looked around and froze. There was nothing, no path, no signs. Only endless sand dunes in every direction. His water was almost finished. His body was drying out. He had no options left. To survive, he made a hard choice. He began recycling his own liquid and drank it to stay alive. As the sun began to set, he heard a sound. A helicopter. Hope returned instantly. He grabbed his flare gun and fired a signal, trying to get attention. But nature had other plans. The sun was too bright. The flare disappeared in the glare. The pilot never saw him. The helicopter flew away. Hope vanished again. He stood alone in a silent ocean of death. Now he understood. No one was coming. This was his battle against the Sahara and against himself. On the sixth day, after hours of walking under the burning sun, he saw something far away. A broken structure, an old building. He moved closer. It was an ancient shrine, abandoned for centuries. He felt a spark of hope. Maybe someone would be there, or at least some water. With weak steps, he entered inside. But there was no one, not a single living soul. Only silence surrounded him, and an old grave stood there. Still, he did not give up. He took out a small Italian flag from his backpack and placed it on the roof, hoping a plane might see it. But his biggest enemy was hunger and unbearable thirst. His body was completely dry, weak and exhausted. Then his eyes noticed something. Bats hanging from the roof. Survival changes everything. It forces impossible decisions. He caught the bats, cut them with his knife, and drank their blood just to stay alive. For the next few days, he survived like this, eating insects and butterflies, anything he could find. One day, he saw a plane far in the sky. He needed smoke to signal, but had nothing left. So he burned his backpack, his last possession. Smoke rose into the air, but strong winds scattered it. The pilot never saw him. Once again, he was invisible. This was his 7th day, alone in the Sahara. The loneliness broke him. His mind started to collapse. He lost hope completely. He believed he would die here. Then a dark thought came. He didn't want to wait anymore. He wrote a farewell message for his family using charcoal. Then he made a shocking decision. He cut his wrists and lay down inside the shrine, waiting for death. His eyes slowly closed, but something unexpected happened. Death did not come. His blood had thickened due to extreme dehydration. It clotted instead of flowing. When he opened his eyes again, he was shocked. Even death had rejected him. That meant only one thing. His destiny was not here. With new determination, he bandaged his wounds and stepped outside again. Something had changed inside him. A new strength was born. He took out his compass and chose a direction towards the mountains. He walked only in mornings and evenings, resting during the burning afternoons. At night, he buried himself in sand to keep his body warm. On the way, he found plants. He squeezed their roots and drank the bitter liquid. For food, he ate anything, even raw snakes and insects. His body became extremely weak, like a walking skeleton. He lost a lot of weight. On the 8th day, he saw something unbelievable. Greenery in the distance. It was an oasis with muddy water. He rushed towards it and drank slowly, despite his swollen throat. Finally, some relief. On the 9th day, while walking weakly, he saw sheep, a sign of life. He followed them and found a little girl, grazing them alone. After many days, he saw another human, but his appearance was terrifying. The girl got scared and ran away. Soon, she returned. With her grandmother, they helped him, gave him food and shelter, but his body was too weak. He vomited after eating. Later, he was taken to a military camp. At first, they suspected him as a spy, but after identification, the truth was revealed. He had crossed the border from Morocco into Algeria, traveling nearly 291 kilometers away from his racetrack. Back home, his family had lost hope. They believed he was dead, but after 9 days, his call finally reached home, and there was celebration. Across Italy, he was hospitalized for several days. Doctors were shocked. They believed survival was impossible due to severe damage, but his courage won. He survived, and even more surprising, his love for the Sahara remained. He returned to the race again, not once, but 6 more times, and even secured 13th position once. Today, Mauro Prosperi is 70 years old, but his passion is still alive. He says something powerful. The desert that could have killed him taught him how to truly live. I hope you liked this Scope History video. Don't forget to share it. Thank you for your support. See you in the next amazing video.